Hello, welcome to another episode of HCC MovieMakers Academy Movie Reviews. I'm Trey Dixon.
And I'm Darrell Thorman.
And we just saw Jupiter Ascending. Jupiter Ascending is sort of a sci-fi movie where a bunch of incoherent things happen for an inexplicable reason, and then the audience goes home, scratching their heads. It stars Meg Griffin as Mila Kunis smiling badly, and Magic Mike as a wolfman with moon boots.
The film was budgeted at $173 million, and it grossed at about $43 million, and we both know why it didn't make as much as it was budgeted for. Because it was terrible.
Because it's the greatest movie you'll ever see in your life.
We've been taught that the birthplace of the human race is Earth, but it's not.
I just need to know what in the hell is going on.
We stumbled into a war with the most powerful dynasties in the universe.
I want that found, and I want her dead.
We need a plan.
We need firepower.
Why is this happening to me?
You are royalty.
Jupiter Ascending.
It's so terrible that if you miss out on this movie, it would not serve you well.
You have to go see this movie if you haven't already.
There's the term that's so bad it's good. This is probably a movie that fits the bill pretty perfectly. This movie is a cornucopia of the majority of all of the filmmaking decisions made incorrectly on every feasible level. This movie feels like somebody who had a limited amount of time on this earth wanted to make a bunch of sci-fi movies, and then they only could make one, so they threw in all of those ideas into one movie.
It's like, let's take 2 or 3 seasons of 3 different TV shows or 3 different sci-fi plots, and how can we fit these into 2.5 hours?
There's more than 10 times I was watching this movie, and something occurred, and the best explanation that I had in the back of my head was because sci-fi. And I'm watching this thing, I'm looking at it, and I'm trying to figure out how does that happen? And it's because sci-fi. This movie is sci-fi for the sake of sci-fi.
A lot of things exist in this movie because they felt, well, it's outer space and it's sci-fi. We've got spaceships and guns. We might as well put this in here too.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be that kind of a movie because really the plot is essentially a bunch of people trying to settle a land dispute.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, they put a very defeatist attitude towards this from the very beginning. They make humans feel very small and insignificant, and they throw it right in there in the beginning, and I just don't know how to feel about that.
The rationale for making this movie, I mean, if we were going to be really generous, we would say, okay, well, the Wachowskis are trying to say that the human race is a small piece of a big puzzle, and that's admirable. But this movie has no idea what it wants to be, what it wants to do. It wants to be sci-fi, that's for sure. But wow,
what is it trying to go for? We don't. I don't understand. I understand it's trying to be sci-fi, but I don't understand. Are they trying to go for a dramatic feel or an action movie, or are they trying to
be funny? Because I was laughing my head off.
There were parts of it where I chuckled, like, why is this happening? Why is this in there? Some of the things they put in there just. Like the bees thing, that they put that in there just so they could have something to explain. Like, how do we know you are who you are?
Did you know that that bees are genetically designed to sense royalty? Because I didn't know that.
But apparently Jupiter Ascending taught us that they do.
Yeah, bees are genetically designed to sense royalty.
They put that in there, I feel like, just so they could explain, like, oh my god, they're attracting around you, you must be the queen, or you must be nobility.
The queen bee.
Oh my god.
Not the bee. Not the bee.
But no, this film is really, if it's terrible enough that if you're not looking at it, if you're not watching it, you should, because you're missing out on a lot that's happening in 2 hours.
If you miss out, it serves you well to miss out on a lot of the things that this movie is trying to talk about, because that way you can watch this movie in sheer befuddlement and just laugh and just look at it as a thing that's just occurring. And then Eddie Redmayne shows up with his Christopher Plummer chain smoker and I create life and I take it away. What was that?
I don't know, but throughout the movie, that's basically how he was. He gets really loud, and it's just, and then I take it away. He gets real quiet.
I don't understand.
I don't. And if you really notice, the audio in that particular scene cuts out. Like, you can hear the echo from wherever they were recording, and then from that loud part where he's screaming, "I create life," and then it cuts off.
Yeah.
The room tone cuts off,
Yeah.
and then it's the whisper, and you hear nothing. That caught my attention.
They're trying to fix the bad direction that they gave him. What's
Yeah.
so strange about his performance is that you can tell in his face that he's channeling something genuine. You can see that he truly believes in what it is that he's performing. It's just all the decisions that Eddie Redmayne's making as an actor aren't the right decision at all.
I don't know. I feel he's really a better actor than that. I don't know what was happening in this movie.
No, this movie is an example of everything being executed in
The wrong way.
The wrong way. The casting is one of the most baffling casting jobs I've ever seen. Mila Kunis sleepwalks her way through the entire movie. Whenever she started screaming, I couldn't help but laugh out loud because she's so terrible at screaming, and she plays such a.
It was supposed to be a very dramatic scream, and I just felt nothing from it.
It sounded like a heavyset individual scream. I don't know how else to describe it, but that's what it sounded like.
And then there's the, I guess we can call it romance between her and Channing Tatum that happened in the movie.
Magic Mike with wolf ears and moon boots.
And eventually wings.
And eventually wings for because sci-fi.
Mechanical wings.
Mechanical wings because sci-fi.
Because sci-fi. I mean, I didn't see anything going on there except comedic banter between the two, and then somehow it ends up in a romantic relationship. I didn't see any. It's like, I don't know how to feel about that.
So as much as I did enjoy this movie in all the wrong ways, it does represent a problem, because this was an original idea that investors dropped, like you said, $176 million into.
$173 million.
And it flopped badly. It just wiped out.
It didn't even make half of what it was.
I mean, how could you?
Of how much it spent.
So what I'm getting at is that this sends a message to Hollywood studios that original ideas, there's no point in investing in them, because every time people look at something that doesn't have some sort of brand attached to it, there's no vested interest. At least that's their mindset. But original ideas are important. We need original ideas. There will come a point in this Hollywood machine where people won't want to see the same thing over and over again. This movie sets that process back. They might not even realize it, but people will probably look at Jupiter Ascending as a prime example of how people in Hollywood should ignore original ideas, and I don't want to see that happen.
I really don't want to see it either. Aside from the story, what really impressed me was the visual effects actually looked really good.
It
looked really good, but like we were saying, some of the stuff in there was just simply put in because sci-fi, but it looked nice.
It did look nice, and you know what? I would rather watch a movie that has too many ideas and tries way too hard than a movie that's lazy and has too little ideas. And that's...
It's better than trying to cram things. It's better to try and cram things into a short amount of time than to try and extend something that really shouldn't be extended.
Except for... I wouldn't say that this movie's better than the Hobbit films. Neither of them are pretty good, but this is a bad example of trying to stuff
It's a bad example of high-budget professional filmmaking.
This is you can't fault the Wachowskis for their efforts, because every time they flop gloriously. I don't know how else to say it. They try their hardest, and they
really do.
They just fall right on their faces. I liked Cloud Atlas, which puts me in a minority of people. I actually really enjoyed Cloud Atlas, but the Matrix sequels and Speed Racer, they tried, but, and I feel bad because we'll probably never get another great movie out of them. And
Sadly, I would like to see another great movie out of them, though.
Because they made good movies. Bound and the original Matrix were really wonderful.
I feel that we may see another movie that's really good from them in maybe a couple of years or so. Who knows? What would you give this movie?
Well, you know what? I would recommend it. I would recommend it because it is a good time. It is a really good time. Get with a bunch of people and just watch it and laugh your head off because it's an absurd mess. But if I'm looking at it seriously, I would probably give it a 4, 3.5, a 4. You know, I wasn't bored. So I can give it that. This movie did not bore me. I was just flabbergasted the entire time. No idea what was going on, but I was kind of loving every minute of it, but not in a good way. Like, I was looking at it and thinking, oh, God.
I think I'll give it a 3.5, being generous, because I went there and I sat in the theater like, was there a purpose for coming here? Am I still watching this? I'm not sure what's happening here. There were too many questions in my mind, and I wasn't focused on the story, which is what a film is supposed to do. It's supposed to get you involved, and it's supposed to bring you in, and I don't feel that at all from it.
This movie failed to do that. It failed to do almost everything.
Almost.
But I would recommend it.
Yeah.
Because you'll probably enjoy it.
Technical aspects
on a funny bad level.
Yeah. Technical aspects, the effects were good, and the shots were pretty well placed, but other than that, that's about it. So.
Well, that's it. Thank you for watching HCC MovieMakers Academy movie reviews. We love films, and if you love films, then check out our website, www.hccs.edu, and enroll yourself in the art of filmmaking. Visit us online, and check out our YouTube channel to get more alerts on videos just like this one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.